Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Today is Sunday. It is the 27th of July, and I'm here to show you some stitching for this afternoon. I was able to start working on this when we got back from lunch after church this morning, and I've been working on it most of the afternoon. But this was my Christmas in July stitch for today, and it was a Teresa Kogut Patreon pattern, and this is Santa with Anne and Teddy. I guess you'll know who I'll be stitching this for. I decided to go ahead and get it started this year because I plan on gifting it next year, but because I was focusing on Christmas in July, I went ahead and started it as one of my new starts. So I stitched 452 stitches in it today, and I got the first 2 layers of his hat, which I think is great. So it's going to be a big piece, not huge, but I mean the character itself is large, and I think it's going to be a very, very pretty Christmas piece for my friend. So I'm happy about that. I also picked up last night, and I didn't film after I started working on it, but I picked up my Girl in Her Garden, and I started working on the girl. So I got part of the dress done, not all of it, just working on that big skirt and apron, and then I can continue working on that. I do have a Zoom call this evening. It's for planning purposes, but we may get to do a little stitching if we do. I plan on going back to my Girl in Her Garden. I would kind of like to work on her extra as soon as I finish my Christmas in July stitching each day. Now that I don't have a bingo call for the end of the month, I think what I will do is work on that piece and see if I can't finish it by the end of the month. And that would take away just one more of my whips. It certainly isn't going to make up for the, 30 that I have right now because of all the new starts I've had. But it's okay. It would be one more that would be finished, and I think that would be lovely. So that's my plan, is to kind of work on it a little bit, see if I can't bring it to a finish by the end of the month, and that way that'll just be one less whip that I carry on into the month of August. Tonight is our planning Zoom call. In fact, we do that in about 30 minutes. And we'll be talking about our acrostics and what we're going to work on, what's going to be our focuses for the month, and what some of our plans might be kind of going forward for the rest of the year. It's a good time. It's a good, fun time. And so I'm looking forward to it very much. And in the meantime, I hope you're having a great day of stitching. I hope it's been a restful day for you. I look forward to having more stitching to share with you tomorrow. In the meantime, happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is Dina, and it is the 29th of July, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my cross stitching. Well, first of all, I have a finish. I'm so excited. I started working on this in the last little segment. I think I showed you that I was working on it. And I said I wanted to keep working on A Girl in Her Garden because I wanted to finish it this month if I could. And as it turned out, I got a lot of time to stitch on it yesterday, and I had a Zoom call last night and I stitched on it. So I finished Girl in Her Garden. Have not pressed it yet, but I will be. And my plan is to finish it in the drum as is illustrated on the pattern. And I have all the finishing materials because this was a gift at a retreat. It was an exchange project. You were to stitch your own thing, fully finish it, and bring your finished object there. And then you kitted up that same pattern with everything you used so someone else could replicate it. And this is the one that I received. I was so excited, so very excited. So Girl in Her Garden is now finished, and I will be turning that into a drum. Now, the next thing that I worked on was Noel in blue, because I pulled it forward. It was the last one that I needed to do, and let me find a picture of it. Hold on, here we go. I originally had this on the last day of the month, but because I'm going to go to my friend Juliana's and stitch this week, I decided I needed to pull this forward and redo the order in which I was going to be doing some new starts for the rest of the year. And that way, hopefully, the new start that I have to do that I can now take with me to her house will be one I can manage. It's not on a big roller frame or anything, but this is what the Noel in blue sweater I'm working on will look like when I finish it. And I actually stitched 464 stitches in this, and this is what it got to. So I have done the whole outline of the sweater, the ribbing on each extremity, and the white band of snow were all done yesterday on that one. So that one is one that I hope to keep working on fairly soon, because I think that one I might could finish by the end of the month. We will see. That's my new focus to a finish. And then today, my new start for today was another one of my Christmas animals. This one was the tree one. I had swapped that tree one with a different one earlier in the month. So this one came up, it was time to start it. And I did. And I got 268 stitches in it for the new start. I'll show you what that equates to. I've got the bunny rabbit started there. You can almost see him. There's no back stitching in it yet, but his entire head, face, arm, and torso's done with a little back stitching of the background there. And he's decorating the tree, obviously. And then I'll come back to that one, which will be great. So now I just have the fourth one of these to start, which is what I am scheduled to start at my friend Juliana's house. So hopefully that'll be easy to take with me there. So now that's my stitching so far today. I have a plan of what I would like to do this afternoon. It's not quite the end of July, but sometime around August, September, I start making plans for the coming year. And one of the things that's got me thinking ahead is the group that I'm in, a little chat group called the Determined Stitchers, sent out a suggestion, an idea. Would we like to start a stitch together that's a cross stitch related piece? There were several that were listed as examples, and I've looked through some of my stash and I have 2 of those, but I have others as well. So it prompted me to kind of get that urge to start looking through some of my kitted projects, look through some of my patterns that aren't kitted in preparation for what do I want to put on my start list for next year. Now, I have not started everything this year that I had originally planned, because originally I had planned to start 2 things every month, and I had listed them out on a little annual plan. But then when I decided to do Christmas in July, and I wound up starting, 26 or so projects, that really was enough. I felt like I don't have to start 2 every month after this. Not really. I am going ahead and starting 2 in August because they're stitch-alongs. The first one is on August 18th. My friend Lori and I had already said we were gonna do an autumn strawberry from Erica Michaels. She's got a pattern out there that's got 3. One is a scarecrow, one has the word autumn on it, and then there's a third one, which is the only one I haven't stitched yet. So I'll be starting that on August 18th. My friend Lori has one of the 3 berries left in that series to start. So our friends Dee and Donna have decided that they will start a berry on August 18th with us. They can pick whatever berry they want because I don't know that they have the same grouping, but they're going to start an Erica Michaels berry as well. So if you're interested in starting an Erica Michaels berry or any other kind of berry that you would like to on August 18th, please join us and do that. It's an unofficial start along, but it's just something we thought would be fun. And Lori and I both wanted to finish that series, and we thought August would be a good time to stitch it because then maybe if we're lucky, we could get those berries done for the fall this year and put them out, which would be awesome. So that is one start. The other start that I'm doing in August was one that Donna and I had originally said we were going to do together in September, and it's playing with jacks. But since we have a little weekend that we're going to do at the retreat house, at the end of August, the last weekend of August, we're going to be there through the August 31st. And one of the things that we're going to do while we're there is 3 starts in 3 hours. So we've decided to pull it forward and put it as both of us are going to start it as one of our 3 starts. And so that'll get it going. So if you have playing with jacks, or if you have a pumpkin pattern you'd like to start with us, any pumpkin there is, feel free to do that. Please let me know if you're going to do it. But we are going to start it on August the 27th or 28th. Let's just say that weekend you start your pumpkin piece, whatever makes sense for you. The last weekend of August, you pick your date and you start it. Just let us know what you're starting. I think that would be fun. Just put it in the comments. Again, an unofficial start along, but it's for fall, and we wanted to do that. So after finalizing those plans recently in our last planning call, it got me to thinking that I might go through some of my projects that are kitted, as I said, and some of my patterns, and pull out things that I'm interested in. But what I would like to do is perhaps give you all the choice between 2 or 3 and have you vote on which one in that grouping that I would put in my new starts for next year. I think you enjoy doing that. I've had great participation from people when I've done that in the past to have them vote on things for me to put in my new starts. And I haven't done it in a while. So I'm going to take some time today. I'm going to look through some of my patterns, and I may not get them all sorted today for you to vote on, but I'll do at least 1 or 2 groupings of it so we can start the voting process, and you can help me pick some of my new starts for next year, things you'd like to see. So I think that will be great fun, and I hope you'll enjoy being a part of that. So I'm going to get busy doing that and then get back to stitching later. So I hope that you are going to have a great day today. I wish you well, and I wish you happy stitching. Okay, this is a voting section. I've decided to look at my Halloween pieces that I have and see which ones that I would like to add into my stitches for next year. One of them that I plan on doing is Mill Hill, and it's the second in my series of the haunted mansion, haunted library, whatever. I want to do at least one of those, but I would like to do maybe one more Halloween, and I have 3 kitted up here that were gifted to me by the Lake House Stitchers. and I need help on deciding which ones I want to do first. So the first one that I want to share with you, and I have the stuff to finish it with and everything. We're going to finish it on a pumpkin. So this one is called Stay Spooky. Isn't that beautiful? Now my plan on this one is to stitch it on blue fabric. And that way I just have to do the darker blue here for the shadowing, and then all the colors. I don't have to do quite so much full coverage on it. But that is called Stay Spooky. So that's number one, Stay Spooky. The second one that I have is called From the Dark Side. Rest in Peace. And it is actually on that purple fabric. So that's Rest in Peace. And the third one is fairly similar to one that you just saw, but it is just a little bit different. And I'm gonna have to cover up the pattern before I show it to you. But this is the fabric I'm gonna be stitching it on. And this one is called Delightfully Spooky. Delightfully Spooky. So this one with the purple hat, or which is Delightfully Spooky. This one, which is Rest in Peace. Or the other pumpkin one that says Stay Spooky. So if you could let me know, vote for which one of those in your comments that you think would be the one you would want me to put into my new starts for 2025 for part of my Halloween stitching. Then please let me know, and I will include that in my new start plans for 2025. Thanks, everybody. Okay, the next thing I want you to look at to help me decide what to stitch is my stitch that I'm going to do with my Determined Stitcher chat group. We're going to stitch on something that has to do with cross stitch as the theme. And I have several patterns here I want to show you. These are not all of my stitching related patterns, but there are a good number of them. And some are old and some are new. So I'd like for you to let me know which ones you would like. And why don't you give me your top two, like 1 and 2, and that way that might help because there's a lot of them. The first one is Auntie's Sewing Box, a Sue Hillis design. And I think this is just absolutely delightful, but there's a lot of stitching on there. But I could start one of them. Auntie's Sewing Box. The second one is a Jeanette Douglas design. It's called Take Time to Stitch. It's the 15th anniversary edition. That's very pretty. And this one is a Teresa Kogut. It's a Time to Sew Every Season series. So this is a Time to Sew. This is an October House, the Itch to Stitch, a skinny mini pattern. That's really cute. Then this is an Annabella's pattern, all things cross stitch, and I don't know how I would do this, whether I would do the small individual ones, these 4, or whether I would do the big long one. I don't know. I'd have to decide if this one is selected, but this is called All the Things Cross Stitch. And this one is called Stitchy Tear. It's by Erin Elizabeth Designs. Stitchy Tear. So there's Stitchy Tear, all the things cross stitch, the itch to stitch, a time to sew, take time to stitch, and Auntie's sewing box. So vote on your first choice and your second choice so that that might help me in a tie. So I can see what everybody wants to do for that. Okay. And so now I'm going to ask my sister Stephanie, if you're watching, to look away, because I want everyone to help me pick the next thing I'm going to do for my sister Stephanie when I finish the one I'm working on now. And I have 5 for you to choose from. Pardon the zipper. Okay. You know what that one says? There's the title. I'm not going to say it out loud. You can just read it, but I'll have you vote by the title, if you will. And that one is already fully kitted. That was kind of what I was planning on doing until I found all these other things. And we'll go by this title right here. That's number 2. Number 3 is one y'all will recognize. And we'll go by this title right here, the name. And you can just say buttons and beads on this one, because that doesn't, I can say that out loud because it doesn't tell her anything, but it'll tell me what I need to know that you're voting on. And then Cozy Winter Sampler is the name of this one, in case you can't read it. So if you will vote on one of those 5, just one, to let me know what you think should be my next stitch for my sister, that will be awesome as well. So that's all the voting for this time. That'll give me at least 3 or 4 to put into my planning for next year, and I'll start planning in September, so that'll give us a little bit of time for you to vote and for me to tally all that and put it into my stash of things I want to consider for next year. And I thank you for doing that. Appreciate it. Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Dina, and today is July 30th. It is Wednesday, and tomorrow is the final day of my Christmas in July stitching. But I wanted to share with you what I stitched today. Today's start was one of these full coverage Christmas Village ornaments by Dimensions. It's a gold collection, and I've done 3 of them. And today I started the 4th one, and I decided to stitch Noel's Bakery, and that's this one here in the middle. So I decided to start it differently than I started the first 3. The first 3 were at the top of my fabric, and I started it, each of them, as the tip top of the sky. But this now are my bottom 3 on my fabric, because it's on the kit Ada. And I decided instead to do a center start. And that way I can make sure that I get the bulk of the piece in the middle, and then I can do the sky up and down because I'm worried this is as far as I can roll this up because of my scroll rod. And it could be that I'm gonna have to take it out of the scroll rod when I get to the very bottom of the design. I'm not sure. I can't seem to get it to roll up any less than that because that's right in where it connects with the pins. So I may or may not have enough room with the rod there. I may have to actually take the rod off to finish the bottom of the design. So there you have it. My friend Donna issued me a challenge this weekend. She said she thought that if I could finish this one by the end of the year, that next year I should be able to do this one in the first 6 months and this one in the last 6 months, and I could actually finish them in 2025. We shall see. We shall see. I'm not a big fan of full coverage. My son gifted me these and they're beautiful and I love them. But again, it's full coverage. And I just have this mental block against it. So I decided I'm starting in the middle. I'm just going to do it all the way out. It's a small. I'm going to see how quickly I can get it done. But my start on it today was 387 stitches. So that's a decent start, I think. And there you have it. So I got started on Noel's Bakery from Dimensions. Again, it's this middle one. A lot of brown. The building is brown. So it's going to have a lot of brown in it. So that'll be interesting. Okay. Yesterday evening, I decided, after I had stitched on my Christmas in July stitching, that I wanted to pull out one of my other Christmas in July starts or whips, Christmas whips, that I felt like I could get a finish on if I put enough stitching in it. And my plan was to stitch on it yesterday and that I could take it with me when I go stitching with my friend Juliana tomorrow at her house. And as it turned out, it went quicker than I thought. I was so delighted to finish my fourth and final Noel in Blue log cabin. So I finished it last night. I think it's beautiful. So here are the 4 all together of the Noel in Blue series. Aren't they pretty? This is the first one I did. And then I did the snowman. And then I did the reindeer. And now I've done the log cabin. So the other half of this fabric is on hold to do the Noel in red, which my friend Donna has. And when she finishes with it, then I will start working on it on the other half of this fabric. So I'm just going to put this in a holding pattern. These are finished, but I'm not going to fully finish them yet until I do the other 4, and then I'll do them all at one time with Donna. So I'm waiting for that, and until then, I'm just going to put it in a project bag and hang on to it. It hopefully will be 4 new starts for next year. We shall see. So that has been exciting. Now I have some huge news for you. I'm hoping that this works. My husband's going to help me try to do this today, but my channel name, Half Stitch Cross Stitch, is very long and it takes a long time to write it out. It's hard when I tell people how to find my channel. And really, the only reason that I named it Half Stitch Cross Stitch is that when I began YouTube 9 years ago, I was trying to create something that was similar to my email so that I could remember it and that I could sort of brand it all together. But it doesn't represent really what the channel is about. I don't just stitch in half stitches. If I did a lot of full coverage, I might, but I don't want to give that erroneous impression out there. So instead, My husband recommended a channel change name for me today. And because I focus on my stitching and I do a lot of stitching with people virtually, where we sit and we stitch together virtually. And because I put Coco on my channel, we thought it would be fun to have a play on that and have my channel name changed to Sit, Stay, and Stitch. Not only for Coco to sit and stay while I stitch, but because I'd love for you to come in and sit down, stay a while with me, and stitch. So I think that really represents more my channel than half stitch, cross stitch. And so I'm going to be changing my channel name to Sit, Stay, and Stitch, unless it's already taken. And I haven't checked that yet. So if it happens to be already taken, I'll just delete this whole segment and you won't see it. But there you have it. That is one of my big announcements for today. My second big announcement is this. There are a lot of people that are going to be doing a focus next year on patriotic stitching because it's the 250th anniversary of our country's birthday. So I'm planning on doing 25 new starts that are patriotic. A lot of people are doing that. I thought it would be great to stitch patriotic stitching to honor that. And since I'm starting it in 2025, I'm going to start 25 new patriotic stitches between now and next July. I'm not going to do 50, I'm going to do 25. And a lot of them are going to be smalls, but this first one is not quite so small. It was one I had designated that I would like to start, and I am going to pull it out and start it. It is going to be altered a bit because I'm not going to do all of it. I'm going to take out a section of it. So this is called Oh Glory Angel by Lottie Da. This is the original part to it. And I am going to figure out a way. I have a stand I want to display this on. So I have to take out 50 stitches in here to make it fit. Now I'm going to have to decide where that 50 stitches is. And at one point in time, I thought I had it figured out, but I didn't make notes on it. So I'm going to have to do it again. And I will do that, but I've got to recount it because I didn't write it down. But when I was actually looking at it, I knew that if I took at least 50 stitches out of the height of it, it will fit on a beautiful stand that I have that I want to put it on. So I'm going to put it on doubloon, and I'm going to calculate what I'm going to leave out of it today, and I'm going to start this today because I have to start at least one this July, and then I can start 2 patriotic stitches every month from August till next July, and that will get me to the 25 that I need. So thank you, Donna, for that idea. Donna was the one who came up with that suggestion because I didn't want to do them all in July next year. I didn't want to do 25 stitches, brand new starts next July. Not after doing 30, well, I did 27, I think, or so new starts this year, this month. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little tired of new starts. Not that I mind new starts, I love them, but doing one almost every single day, I just catch myself wanting to, I don't want to put it away yet. You know, I get started on it and then I have to move on to the next thing the very next day. And I'm like, wait, I'm not ready to put this one away yet. So I now have all these beautiful new Christmas starts that I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to mold and fold them into my whip pile and plans for the rest of the year and into next year to get them stitched. And I don't want to just have them all willy-nilly in there. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do that. But I do think I could handle two new starts a month. That would be easy enough. Now, May, that means I'll be starting 6 new things because I do May Monday starts. Or 2 of my May Monday starts could actually be Patriotic. And then I don't have to start that many. You know, I don't have to add to it if I don't want to. So see, I've got some thinking to do, but I definitely want to get this one started today because tomorrow's the last day of the month. And I have gotten my Christmas stitching done for the day. So I want to get this started, and I'll come back hopefully later and share it with you. And hopefully we'll be successful in changing my channel name to Sit, Stay, and Stitch. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dina, and this is my channel about cross stitch, as I forget to say sometimes. But today is July 31st, and we are wrapping up Christmas in July today. I am thrilled to tell you I made it. I stitched on 31 separate Christmas projects. Some were whips, a few. Most were new starts, and today is no exception. So today was my final Christmas in July new start, and it was the 4th of my Christmas Animals by Dorene Jones, and it was the Carolers, this one right here. So I started it this morning, and I've put in just 206 stitches in it to get it started, but that's going to be my start today. I am going to my friend Juliana's here in just a few minutes, and we are going to stitch together today, and I wanted to get this out of the way so that I could take something easy to see, that I didn't have to get a certain number of stitches on, just enjoyable, easy stitching for when I'm with somebody else. But that concludes my Christmas in July stitching. So how do I feel about it? I think it's fabulous. I had a wonderful time, and now I have all these great Christmas projects that I can work on for the rest of this year and all of next year. So my plan on attacking those is to look at them and see about folding them in for cross sticks and perhaps picking one a month, the smaller ones, to try to knock them out, finish one a month if I can. I think that's a doable goal. I do have very aggressive goals for August. I want to catch up on a bunch of things that I didn't get to touch during the Christmas in July. So I'll share that with you in just a second. But after August, my plans for each month might be much more specific as to which whips I want to touch and which Christmas whips I want to touch. So my whole idea now is to see how many I can finish by the end of the year so that I'm not carrying over all 37 whips that I currently have. So it is good to know, though. I will tell you, my stats for July as of today, I don't anticipate anything different, is that I stitched for Tour de France. Now, the number of stitches that I calculated were originally published. I've heard since that they changed a day or two, and I stitched more than I needed to, but that's okay. It would have been 3,320 stitches if I just did the number required, but I stitched 7,092 instead. So now some of those were also could be on my Great British Bake Off if that whip was part of it, but most of them were not, because my Tour de France stitches was whatever my Christmas stitch was for the day. And so the only ones on there that were on my Great British Bake Off, I think, was the Santa's Workshop, maybe? I don't know, maybe one more. So, that was exciting to get that many extra stitches in, which is wonderful. The other thing I can tell you for July is that I did my stocking of the month, my 7 Swans of Swimming. I started and finished it. I did complete my Great British Bake Off stitching and did all 10 weeks of that. And I completed both of my Whip Go calls for the month. So I had a great month. It was that, and all 3 acrostics were completed. I didn't get to post any of them because my posting function isn't working on my phone, and that's where all my pictures are. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I'm at least doing them and showing them, but I've got to figure out what's going on with that. But to give you a kind of a recap, I started the month of July with 18 whips. I had 30 new starts. That included Christmas and a couple of others. I had 10 finishes in the month. And so I've left the month today. I leave the month with 38 whips going forward. That's the most I've had in a very long time, maybe ever. I'd have to go back and look, but I think that's the most I've ever had. So I will start August with 38 whips, and we'll see how it goes. So let's talk a little bit about August plans while we're on the subject. I've got my 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Acrostic, which is Rocky Travels. I've got my Magazine Monthly Challenge acrostic, which is Linen, and I won't get my Daily 30 acrostic till tomorrow, and then I can fill that in. I've got the Tour de la Vuelta. It starts on the 23rd of August, and it runs through part of September. But I've got my miles written down, or kilometers rather, which for me will be number of stitches. And I'm going to do it like I did the Tour de France. I'm not going to pick a single piece, I don't think, and make that be my stitches, unless I decide to make that the Christmas piece I'm trying to finish each month. I could do that and put those stitches into it until it's done. That might be a plan. I have to do my 8th stocking, 8 Maids of Milking. And then I wanted to go back and pick up my 4 oldest whips, because putting 500 stitches a month into those whips this year helped me finish all of the whips that I had said I wanted to finish by the end of the year. And I did. I finished them by June. So I think these are probably not finishable by the end of the year, but I want to push them forward. And so I want to put 500 stitches in Autumn in the Village, Let Love Rain, my December quilt, especially since it's a gift, and Spring Quaker. Now, I probably won't do that every month, because after August, when I get to September, I really need to focus on Christmas gifts. And so I may be really putting stitches in my gift for my sister and my gift for my friend Cheryl for the month of September, and really try to push those forward. I don't want to run out of time, because those are both fairly involved stitches. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking. For August, I wanted to get kind of out of the Christmas and really put some focus on my 4 oldest whips, because I felt like I kind of ignored them a little bit. And then I have 2 new starts planned. One is the Autumn Berry on August 18th with my friends Lori, Donna, Dee, and any of you that want to do a berry on the 18th of August. And then on the last weekend of August, while we're at our little stitching retreat, Donna and I are going to start playing with jacks. So I'm very excited about that one. And I'll share that with you before I go, let you see the fabric I've chosen and all that again, so you remember what I'm working on. But those are my plans for August. So today is just sort of a recoup day. I'm going to go visit my friend Juliana. I'm going to stitch on my Old Glory Angel, which is my Patriotic stitch that I started yesterday. I want to put more stitches in it because I just barely got a start on it yesterday. I only put 148 stitches in it yesterday. So I would like to get a little more on that one. And so that's the plan. And I hope that I'll be able to come back this evening and show you my Old Glory Angel. tell you a little bit about the day, and wrap this video up to wrap up Christmas in July with a bow on it. Hope that you've had a good week so far. I hope you're getting a lot of stitching done. And if you're a planner like I am, happy planning for August, and I hope you have a great month of stitching in that month. Until we meet again, happy stitching, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. I am back home from my friend Juliana's house, and I am excited to show you the 470 stitches that I put in my Patriotic stitch for this month, la-di-da. I started it yesterday. Got 148 stitches in it yesterday, and then today I added in another 322. But this is where I got to. Isn't she cute? So I'm going to stop here. I'm back home. It's storming outside. I'm going to try to put together a video because this wraps up my Christmas in July stitching. It also gets my first of my 25 Patriotic stitches started, and I would like to do a little planning this afternoon. I mentioned to you that I wanted to go through and make plans on focusing on some of those Christmas starts throughout the coming year, and kind of figuring out a little bit about what I wanted to do for next year as far as a focus. And so I'm going to put some thought to that this afternoon, maybe do a little planning, watch a little TV with my husband, and play with Coco, and just have a good evening with my family. But I'll turn on some floss tube, give a couple of floss tubers a watch while I do that. And in the meantime, I'm going to put my little Old Glory Angel away for now, and bring her out on a later date. I hope you've had a great Friday. I had a great day. My friend and I had a great time stitching together, planning together, talking about retreats, going out to eat together. It was a lovely day. It was great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And now I'm expecting a very productive planning session, and kind of revamp the rest of my year, see what I want to do, and then kind of look toward next year just a little bit. Anyway, if you haven't already voted on those patterns that you want me to stitch on, please take a minute and do that. Thanks so much for commenting, and I thank you so much for just subscribing and watching my channel. I hope you like my new channel name. I did get it to work, and so it is now Sit, Stay, and Stitch, and I love it. So I hope that you do too. I have some Coco footage I'll put at the end of Coco when her daddy bought her a whole new can of tennis balls. She had 3 new tennis balls to play with in the basement, and she can't decide which one to play with. So I'll put that in here for you at the end. Life with Coco is never dull. Never dull. Anyway, until we meet again, please do have happy stitching.